Thank you for doing this with us. We are sitting in your beautiful property. You have an incredible story to share. I'm coming out of burnout, and you work with people navigating burnout. You surf, and you're a founder and healer. Excited to have you and share your story, what gives you hope, and how you do that healing for yourself and hold space for others.
Thanks for having me.
I like to start with an origin story. How did we get here?
That would take a long time, but I've navigated a series of burnouts. They started when I was 15, before burnout was even a thing people talked about. 3 major moments in my life of what we now call burnout, but more nuanced: substance abuse, eating disorder, depression, anxiety, suicide ideation, and attempts. So there was a lot going on in these 3 different times, not all of each time, thankfully. Through my life, I've been on this journey of self-discovery, of healing, of transformation, really. It's brought me to having a wellness space, being a healer, helping people heal themselves, come home to their bodies and purpose. I work a lot with women with burnout, substance abuse, burnout, spiritual root of lack, fear, and shame. When those are present, we try to fill the void, like Dr. Gabor Mate would say, the hungry ghost, Buddhist principles. There's a lot of things, whether it's addiction to shopping, work, or working out. We can be addicted to anything, even things that are quote unquote positive. I feel grateful. I'm an artist. I used to be a video editor, and I've always painted and created. It feels special to bring these things I'm passionate about together, creating this beautiful space for people to come, to heal, to transform, to connect to themselves and others. I also work with couples. We can have burnout in relationships. We can have burnout with our colleagues, like all of these things. When we slow down, anxiety, rumination, burnout, and the nervous system gets regulated, all that dissipates, we can connect to our creative self, intuition, and heart. So many beautiful things can happen. This is also a really amazing space for that. We're in this beautiful nature, off-grid, so there's not a lot of light pollution. The sky is amazing at night. The ocean is right there. We're 20 minutes from town, so we have the convenience of that. That helps with when I have guests that have some particular medical concerns. We have, or detoxing, we have very good medical care close by. I feel grateful to be doing this. This space is a co-creation with my parents and family, healing, bonding.
It is a beautiful space.
Great. I would love
this incredible space. You built it from nothing, right?
Well, no, there was an existing house and a casita, which
Okay.
we renovated and added rooms. We're building another casita. What's really special here too is the grounds, the gardens, and we have edible garden and medicinal plants and a sauna. I'm into connecting with the earth, animals, and nutrition. We're going to work a lot with the plants and the food we're growing, even have herbalists do workshops to teach how to make beauty products, all us. We've redone everything. There was a house and a casita.
We talked about burnout a lot. It's interesting because we've gone from not talking about it at all and now maybe over colloquializing it. I'm curious, what does burnout really mean? What does it mean to you? And why is it that women are getting burnt out? Anecdotally, there's data to suggest
burnout has become trendy, like nervous system regulation. Part of life to have challenging moments where we feel squeezed, pressured, overwhelmed. Burnout is when that is an extended period of time. And we also resist it. We don't acknowledge it, and we don't try to support ourselves. We try to force our way through. The reason it's a popular thing that we talk about is because we've been running at this pace that is not sustainable. And so at some point, something's got to give. And I think it's a gift, because it just means that this is a catalyst to a major shift in how society works. For women, what's interesting is Gabor Mate has the myth of normal. He talks about how women have rising cases of autoimmune disease, things like MS and irritable bowel. The cases are rising in general across genders, but more with women. He talks about the fact that women history have taken on the emotional burden. We still do that because that's part of our gift and one of the beauties of being a woman. We're taking on responsibilities of being providers and caretakers. More women have careers, a lot more for us to manage. We all have masculine and feminine energy within our body. One of the practices beneficial for all beings is to have a balance between the masculine and feminine energies within us. We live in a masculine world, historically male dominated. The pace at which our society is running is masculine. The moon, which is feminine energy, yin energy, is on a 28-day cycle. Women are on a 28-day hormonal cycle, are on a 24-hour hormonal cycle. Society is on a 24-hour cycle. The sun is on a 24-hour cycle. So women are asked to adapt to a cycle not aligned with how our body is meant to be running. What is beneficial for us is to work with yin practices like yin yoga, meditation, long walks in nature, because nature helps balance. There's a lot of feminine energy in nature. Because of the lack, fear, and shame that a lot of us have within us, we came into this life with this soul correction. It shows up in different ways. We live in a society that values productivity and performance. We gravitate towards more yang activities, hot yoga, tough mudder. At a certain point, we become so out of whack and crash and burn. That's my belief as to why we are where we are.
The masculine is dominating a pervasive way. I feel like the world is sensing it in the way nature is responding. I feel there's some energetic rebalancing, or we're on the cusp of something. What you said is fascinating and intriguing, and I could not agree more. When navigating burnout, it felt like deep soul level misalignment. Something was off. You said you've gone through burnout a couple of times. How did it feel in your body?
It felt different each time. The most recent time, I felt completely drained. It wasn't overworking burnout, it was emotional burnout. You know, a deep depression in the sense that a lot of things that would bring me joy, I just wasn't finding joy in anymore. I still have this voice in my head of not allowing myself to rest, not allowing myself to soften. There was this fear of what happens if I let go, a despair, a wanting to disappear. There was different layers of it. That's how it felt in my body. It's interesting with nature is burning, fires, volcanoes,
tsunami,
and
earthquake.
the earth is wake up. The earth will still be there, but we may not if we keep going. We're pillaging our natural resources. And when you look at the breath, you have the inhale and the exhale. The inhale is the male energy, the yang, and the exhale is the yin, the softening. And that's what we need to lean into. A lot of breathing practices for regulating the nervous system, stimulate the vagus nerve to get into the parasympathetic nervous system. A lot of them, it's like extending your exhale longer than your inhale. The yogis say you have a predetermined amount of breaths per lifetime. If you pay attention to your breath in moments of stress, you'll notice that your breath becomes very fast. With breath awareness and deepening our breath, we increase our longevity.
Yeah. I could talk to you forever and ask all the questions. I'm learning so much. We were talking about breath and breath work. As you were describing this idea of softening, more being, not necessarily less doing, but in my life, more being, less doing. There's something about letting go and softening that I find very difficult. Women find that exhale to actually, like Shavasana and yoga, for some reason that feels like the hardest asana. I'm curious, you have this beautiful retreat, you work with clients and couples. Where do you start? How do you think about embodiment, healing burnout, and where to begin with that?
What I do is I create fully customized, bespoke, private retreat. An individual, couple, or group, like a family or a small company, will come to me and say, here's our intention, here are our desires. I talk to them, ask questions, and what might benefit them. And then I create a fully customized itinerary for them. I myself facilitate yoga, breath work, meditation, inner child healing, crystal healing, and hold space for the entire time. I have other healers and facilitators that I work with. Always with burnout, we're going to on regulating the nervous system. So we're going to be doing a lot of yin practices. We'll do a lot of yin yoga. I'll teach different breathing techniques that we'll do every morning, because it's important to implement a morning routine and evening routine potentially. It'll have to do partially with breathing and with meditation and mindfulness. I will teach breathing techniques to help regulate the nervous system. We'll also go into diet. There's always a private chef and meals are customized. It's a lot of anti-inflammatory foods, healing the gut. The gut is our second brain. It informs our mental health on a big level. Diet is important. That's why it's important to have organic plants and foods on the property and to cut your own food. That's also slowing down. It's not doing less, it's how we do it. Everything can be a ritual. There's so much magic in everything if we slow down. Look at this plant and the flowers they gave me today, and have this beautiful symbiotic relationship and appreciation with the abundance. That helps us get out of the lack that stems from burnout. Movement in nature, surfing, snorkeling, paddleboarding, walks to the beach, walks in the mountains, and getting to the energetic and spiritual causes of burnout. I was talking about how it comes from lack, fear, and shame, understanding why that's there and where it's coming from, doing deep healing, trauma work, inner child healing, sound healing, working on different body workers that are also very much healers. That's really important because that's where it all comes from. We come into this life with soul corrections. Our soul has things to work through in our lifetimes. We can choose to work through it in a small period if we're proactive, or if we're reactive, which means we wait for moments of crisis. It can take a long time and it's more painful. The universe brings us situations for us to be like, something's got to give. The different approaches to burnout.
Fascinating. I think about how simple some of this stuff can be. It's eating well, breathing well, being in nature, moving your body.
When you look at the teachings from Buddhism, Kabbalah, it's all so simple. That doesn't mean it's easy. The other thing is being creative. A lot of writing, journal writing and prompts when I work with people, because there's so much clarity from writing. I also love to incorporate painting and cooking classes because that's a beautiful way to reconnect with play. Such an important part of life, to do things simply for the pleasure of doing them, not because we want to be good at them or make something, right? I can accept that I am maybe not a painter that is going to sell paintings in a gallery, and that doesn't take the value away from doing it for my self-expression, mental health, wanting to play and create. And that helps us connect back to stuff we learned since we were kids.
I read this beautiful quote that said, the hardest thing for an adult to do is be a child. Somewhere along the way, we lost our ability to truly play and be in pleasure.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's also such an integral part of the female experience.
Yeah.
You know, I love, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to tattoo this on my body. Sorry, mom. I love this idea. It's simple, but it doesn't mean it's easy.
The simplest things are often the most challenging. When you look at food, for example, oftentimes like the simplest food is actually the tastiest food. We overcomplicate so much.
What are some rituals that you would recommend for people in their everyday lives, like a morning ritual, evening ritual? I've been thinking about this idea of pretending you're the protagonist in your own rom-com, romanticizing everything.
The Miley Cyrus song, I Can Buy Myself Flowers. Anything can be a ritual. When I make my cacao every morning, it's a ritual. I love my cacao. I make it with almond, coconut milk, and raw, organic, local honey. It's just my thing. Everything can be a ritual. And I think for each person, it's really tapping into, like, for me, I love my cacao. I feed my dogs, I make cacao, then I pray, meditate, and I talk to the creator. It's a routine and ritualistic. I light a candle. My sister-in-law and nieces got me this amazing candle from London for Christmas. Crystals, it smells good, dried flowers. Oh my God, I love these candles. Last time I saw them, they brought me a bunch. I light my candle and they're all related to different tarot cards. I have 7 different ones. I choose the candle, the scent, the energy. Sometimes I pull an oracle card, ask a question, or be like, what does the universe want me to know right now? Make my cacao. You know, flowers are a nice ritual. Making my almond, coconut milk. collagen, hyaluronic acid gummies and marshmallows. I make those with plants from the yard, picking flowers, washing them, making gummies. Everything can be a ritual. I make rose water that I infuse with crystals, oils, and different intentions. Oh, I make moon water every night. That's a beautiful ritual. Another way to connect to feminine energy because the water is infused with the energy from the moon that I drink every day. I also use it. I have a huge mason jar and I put crystals in it. Crystals, I pour water in, and I have a tuning fork tuned to the frequency of the heart chakra, the frequency of love. I tune the water to the frequency of love and speak words into the water because water has memory and holds energy. This restructures your water too, because all water is not created equal, and a lot of the water we drink isn't great. It restructures the water. So I speak words and intentions into the water. I place it under the moonlight all night before the sun comes up. But even if the sun has come up a little, that's okay. I make my own hair stuff with it. I make my rose water with it. The rose water, beautiful because the rose is heart and love. I have that as a pillow spray or to spray on my face. I have a journal of dried flowers and beautiful paper. At night, I put magnesium oil on the soles of my feet, which helps you sleep well. I mix it with castor oil and lavender oil. I massage my feet.
I love it. It just feels like everything is steeped in intention.
It's being super intentional about it, and then seeing the magic in everything. How magical is it that I'm drinking the energy of the moon and these crystals are infusing the water with their energy? It's about being super intentional. One beautiful ritual is to the universe every morning and evening, being like, I have my plans, I have my preferences, I have this trajectory, and also I am open to receive your guidance and any course correction you suggest. I'm open, I'm listening, and just receive the sign. There's so much magic. The universe is supporting us at all times. Aren't always aware of it. The challenging times can be the universe supporting us because it's the universe being like, oh, you want that? Then this needs to happen. You need to up level in this way. Having the ritual of, this is a Kabbalistic teaching, but having the ritual of when something happens that is quote unquote bad or frustrating, what a gift. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to expand my vessel. Thank you for revealing these challenges to reveal our soul corrections and transform them. When we do, more light can come in and we can receive and hold on to the energy already there for us. It's not a future thing, a different timeline. It's waiting for us to jump the timeline.
One of the big things we're trying to do with this storytelling series is highlight stories of hope and inspiration. Every conversation, whether en route to surfing, hanging out, magical. If you had to leave our community with words of hope, what gives you hope, especially now?
I have certainty beyond logic that everything happening is from the creator and is good. No matter how challenging, I'm certain it is for the best. That vibration higher than hope, because hope is not certain, right? That there's a doubt in hope. It's like maybe, but certainty is like, no, for sure. I do believe that what is happening in the world is good because it's an opportunity to wake up and expand our vessels and collective vessel because we're all connected. If one person is suffering, we're all suffering. Wake up to everything going on, how powers and systems are taking advantage. There's a big shift happening right now, for sure. This is a very amazing time to be alive.
Yeah, that's true. I love that point about certainty.
Thank
This
you.
was so fun.
It was a pleasure.
Take us to your favorite little nooks and crannies in your space.
Sure.
We're in your beautiful space. Take us around to a few of your favorite spots.
This is the pool palapa. I love hanging out here, reading, listening to the birds, chilling and being. These are my puppies. These chairs are really cool. You feel weightless, and I love the peacefulness of the trees, citrus and cacti. This outdoor kitchen is fun. It's nice when you have a group, a chef, or a cooking lesson. It's just nice to be out in nature, and you can have people like playing in the pool while you're cooking. I love to swim laps in the pool.
It is very hot, so the pool feels great.
I'm really into this outdoor shower. I designed all of these, made mood boards. I was very into the outdoor shower. We just planted everything, so it's gonna grow more. This is passion fruit, one of my favorite fruits. I made it like a shell shape, so it's kind of fun. And then there's all these plants in here, which are also gonna grow. And it's this like really nice shower head. So this is one of my favorite spots. Here we have the fire pit, super fun for hanging out at the end of the day, telling stories and reflecting. This is a fun spot. And the sauna is probably my baby. I'm super into the sauna. I created a crystal grid on the top of the sauna. I put a Himalayan salt lamp, which helps with detoxification. There's another crystal grid on the ground. And in the center is a heart-shaped quartz that I actually found here on the property. So that's kind of fun. And we're gonna have a big palapa for yoga with ocean views. For now, there's this rooftop to work out and do yoga. I like having my breathwork sessions up here. There's a nice breeze and you can see the ocean and mountains, which at sunset is really beautiful. And it's also nice up here because you can kind of look down on all the neem trees and olive trees and plumerias. And that's a guanabana tree, which is soursop, which is like a anti-cancer, cancer prevention and healing fruit. Beautiful. This is another fun spot. And then, yeah, there's many more nooks for meditation and reading. There's a hammock downstairs, but we're gonna have a little bench swing, butterfly pea flower growing. There's still some construction. The edible garden will be in the front. Vegetables will be in the front. We have lemongrass, butterfly pea flower, and herbs. We have a lot of herbs already.
Thank you.
My pleasure.